I studied and passed my Nclex at 75 questions in 2 weeks. I studied for my Nclex. Yes, you got that right. In 2 weeks, and took my Nclex and passed it in 75 questions. So I'm here to give out study tips that helped me succeed. So if you're interested, you stay tuned and let's jump into the topic. I'm going to start up with materials that I used that I felt helped me pass my Nclex first. So that's the order I'm going to go in. So first on the list is UWord. UWord is a study material. I'm sure a lot of you who are going to take Nclex, you have heard about UWord. It's a study material that has a lot of practice questions. And what I like about UWord, it has very good rationales. And it has about 2,000 plus practice questions with different topics. The way it is set up, you have topics for fundamental of nursing, OB, peds, adult health. You have stuff with drug calculations and stuff to help you practice, and it's classified according to groups, so you can choose how you want to test yourself. On the average, the number of questions you can do in one exam or one set of tests is 75. So and also you can either do just fundamental questions or just adult health, or you can choose to combine pharmacology, fundamentals, like get a bit from every section. So how I studied for UWord, when I first started, I was doing like just little samples from each section, but later on I decided to focus on specific sections. So when I started, I would do 75 questions of different sections. Click on each section and then select 75 as the amount of questions I wanted to do. Then I would do it and then do my rationale. And I would do rationales for both the questions I got right and the ones I did not get right. So I did all my rationales. So like I said, UWord has over 2,000 questions, and I did my Nclex. I studied for my Nclex in 2 weeks, so I did not do all of the 2,000 questions. However, I did do 800 practice questions, and the UWord, the one I purchased was the one that was for 3 months, and that had 2 assessments. So I did the 2 assessments and 800 questions on UWord. First 2 sets of questions, practice questions I did, I just generalize it, and then later on I focus on fundamentals, because I have watched a video on YouTube, and one of the girls whose videos I watched, she was like, you need to know your basis. And the way I understood it, fundamental is the basis of nursing. So that's how I interpreted it. So she might have meant something else, but if she said know your basis, I know that fundamental is the basis of nursing. So I focused on I targeted all the questions on fundamentals, and I did very well in my fundamentals section. The only section I had problem with a little bit was I felt like I did not do so well on the critical care section. I got like pretty much half of that section wrong, but I did my rationale and got to see why I was getting them wrong. And I feel like if I had time to like redo those questions, I would have gotten them right, or would have looked at them with a different eye. I did 75 questions. UWord has 2 modes you can put the test in. And when I first started, I wanted to work on both timing and doing my questions. So I put it in the test mode. So I was like on the clock. But later on, one of my friends, we talked, and she said she was doing the tutor mode so she can pause her stuff, go and do stuff, and come and continue it. And I thought about it. I was like, I guess I need to be doing that, because when I put it in the test mode, it puts you under pressure because the clock is ticking. So I had to like just keep moving. I couldn't leave the test or whatever like that. So after I did my first few questions that way, I switched to the tutor mode, which allows you to like do the questions, see your rationale, and move on. Whereas previously I was doing all 75 and then coming back to see those questions rationales. And one other thing I was doing that I felt was slowing down my study, and that's probably why I did not do more than 800 questions, was that I was taking notes, writing down important points on the rationales I read, especially the ones that I got wrong. And I felt it was slowing my study time down, and I knew I did not have enough time. But if you do have enough time to study, taking notes is a good way of studying. Yes, it is. It helps me remember stuff. So but I did not have time in my favor, so I just did what I could within the 2 weeks period, because I did not want to change my test date. So so that's how I started the U word section for my Nclex. The second thing on the list that I used was my Nclex. So while in nursing school, I did listen to my Nclex video. Like when I was on my way to work, I would play my Nclex recordings that are on YouTube. I share them as a message to my messenger account, and so whenever I wanted to play, I didn't have to check through YouTube for it. I would just click on it. So that's what I did. That was my strategy. So I knew which one I had done, which one I had not done. So I have been listening to my Nclex videos before that 2 weeks time period of study during nursing school. But I wasn't so focused on it. Sometimes I would play and then I'm driving, I zoom out of listening or concentrating on it. So it wasn't a focused study. But for the 2 weeks that I studied for Nclex, I made it my business to at least listen to one lecture of my Nclex. And what I did, I would study, do practice questions, and because I have been sitting so much during the day doing practice question, I would go for a walk in my neighborhood. So during my walks, the amount of time I'm listening to my Nclex video for is the amount of time. So if the video was 53 minutes, that's 53 minutes I will be walking for. If it was for an hour, I will listen to it for an hour. Now there are some of his videos that are very long. I think one of it was like an hour and plus minute. I wasn't going to walk that long, so I will pause it once I know that I have done enough of it, and then come home, and then the next day I'll remember where exactly I stopped on it and just set the video, drag it to that particular section to start listening to it. So that was my way of listening, doing my Nclex videos for studying for Nclex. But what I would say about my Nclex videos, I can't stress enough how important it is to listen to my Nclex video. It is very informative. I'm telling you, y'all, you're listening to my Nclex like you're listening to Uncle Nclex. God first. U word and my Nclex did the deal. I'm telling you, I was in that exam, and literally I would narrow my answer choices to 2 answer choice, and to find the right one, my Nclex strategies did help me. So I know I said like listen to him like you're listening to Uncle Nclex, because there are some things he says, it may not seem to make sense to you, but they work for taking your Nclex. He knows what he's talking about. That's all I can say. He knows what he's talking about. And I don't know if my Nclex will ever see this video, but I just want to say thank you for being so helpful to us nursing students and being so open and willing to help others become who you are, a nurse. Last day before my test, what I did, I was tired of doing questions. So all I did was listen to my Nclex video, and this is what I did, because like I said, I used to just listen to him. But on that last day, I took notes, like literally took notes. All I did was take notes. I know it's very crappy, but that's what I did. I just zigzag things and wrote. Like here I will have what he says about like IV and stuff, their peak, their duration, those kind of things. I wrote about different things about OB and stuff like that. Different things about prioritization. Yeah, all his videos, feeder monitoring, shock, just different things, stable versus unstable. Those videos, go there and watch it. It really helps you like guide your thinking as you take the exams. It was very helpful to me. I can't stress it enough. So third on the list, someone recommended it. On my class group, because we do have a group. Our class has a group that we chat, support each other. Someone asks like randomly, how are you guys studying? And somebody made mention that they use TikTok or to study, and I was like, the only thing I see on TikTok is like fun stuff. I had no clue, guys, that TikTok went above just comedy stuff, that it had like very educational short videos and stuff. Now what I would say about TikTok, I would go on TikTok, put in Nclex study tips and whatever. And what TikTok did for me, honestly, was like some topic that randomly were talked about in brief videos. When I did not know it, I would use it as a focus point to a topic that is on UWord, to similar stuff. Like if the question I feel like is a fundamental question or whatever question and I did not know it, I will go and focus my studying to make sure I know more about that topic. Because the TikTok videos are very short. They just do question and answer, and most of them don't really give deep rationales about them. So, but at least it assisted me in knowing like my flaws, like what I needed to work on also. So it's just something I'm throwing out there. TikTok is not all about just plays. It also has teachable stuff, things you can learn from. That's something I discovered. I did not know. I did not even have time for TikTok because almost every TikTok I saw was some kind of joke stuff. So I didn't think that it had that. But well, you learn every day. So I learned something new. So yes, so that's it about TikTok. Then next on the list is coupling. So our school provided us with a 3 days coupling on the coupling decision tree. So we had a 3 days learning on how to use the coupling decision tree. I don't feel I really benefited from it. That's my opinion. Because for some reason, I felt like when I was doing my practice question, it slowed me down in answering the question. If I just use my normal judgment to answer my questions, I will answer that question and get them right anyways in less time. Then decided to use coupling decision tree. It was just too complex for me. I wasn't getting it. Even during the sections, when we had a section in class, I didn't think coupling was clicking for me. So I did not really use coupling. But I will say that we used coupling during my school, like throughout my program, and we did a lot of tests every semester. They were like our exit exam. I would say in that way coupling helped me because it prepared me to answer questions that I had no clue about, that I that there is nothing really to study for the Kaplan. That's how it really was, because we had a Kaplan book that if you want to study, you have to read the entire book. And who has time to do that during nursing school? So I felt like in that way, I could compare Kaplan, my taking the Nclex to Kaplan in that way, because Nclex was a test that there is no definite way you can study for it. You just have to know your nursing stuff that you have learned in school. Do these practice questions on UWord or whatever practice question you choose to use, and go in for it, because there's no specific way to actually say that, oh, I have studied this, so I'm going to pass the Nclex. No, in my opinion, no. So yeah, but Kaplan, because I have done Kaplan, you go take Kaplan, you have no clue. Sometimes you see the question, you feel like you know the answer, and then you probably got it wrong. When you do your review, you see that you got them wrong, or that question that you thought you were struggling on, and you did it, and you're like, oh, I got this right. So that's how the Nclex, I feel it looks like. Yeah, so that is it for Kaplan. It was helpful in that way, like I explained, but other than that, the decision tree in particular did not really help me. I did not use the decision tree strategy to do my Nclex. Last on the list that I used to study for my Nclex was nursing.com. So I was jumping back and forth with these different things as I study my UWord. I would do UWord questions and then come and do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So nursing.com is also a site that offers questions for practice for Nclex. They also have stuff to help you, nursing students, people who are still in school for nursing, to study for their different classes. I did not know about it and I did not use it. And honestly, your girl used to be very cheap on paying for stuff like that. I tried to look for free resources. I did not have money to be spending like that. I used my libraries, my local libraries, my school libraries. I used online resources that were free during nursing program. Yes, that's what I did. Besides my regular books that I bought that were required. Extra materials, I sought out free stuff. So for the same for nursing.com, I did not want to pay additional money on top of the UWord that I already purchased. So what I did, nursing.com has a free 3 days trial for $1, and $1 is something that I can donate or I can give to anyone on the street. So I was like, why not? So I put in my credit card and got that 3 days trial. But now this is what nursing.com did to me. Yeah, nursing.com, I did it like 3 days to my Nclex. And yeah, this thing, they have a sample test called their Nclex. Maybe someone else has another experience with it, because I have been doing my UWord and been doing fine on it. Like I was in like the 68 percentile. At some point I even went to 71 percentile, and then I will go back and drop to 68. The least I dropped to was like 65 once. So I was doing great on UWord. Now before I did my the Nclex on nursing.com, I had done my first nursing assessment on that day, 3 days to my Nclex. I did my UWord first assessment, and it told me that I had a very high chance of passing Nclex. Very high chance of passing Nclex. I don't know if, let me put this disclaimer out there. I'm not trying to speak down on nursing.com, but I don't know, maybe I was tired from taking exams all day. So when I tried doing the Nclex itself, I failed. I actually got a 58 on it. 58%, which means I got 58% of the test right. and that was failing for them. They said I have poor chance of passing Nclex. And honestly, I feel like the questions on the Nclex are kind of vague. In my opinion, they are really kind of vague. Like, they were really challenging, or maybe, like I said, my brain was just tired of doing practice questions when I did them. So it sort of brought my esteem, like my I don't know how to describe it, that enthusiasm of, yes, I'm doing great, I'm doing good, yours says I'm doing good, and I'm going to pass this test. Your mind esteem of passing Nclex dropped like this, y'all. It dropped completely, and I was feeling devastated. And I only had 3 days to take Nclex, but I told myself I wasn't going to reschedule my Nclex for any reason. I had scheduled it, and I was going to take it on that day, and that was what I did. So the second day before my Nclex, I did my second U word, and I got a very high chance again of passing Nclex. So I was like, okay, U word thinks I'm doing great, but Nclex on nursing.com thinks that I did very poorly. So I just gave it to God. I was stressing that's what the day, like I mentioned, the day before my Nclex, I did not study anything but listen to my clinic. And the only way I could keep my focus strict was by doing what I did, writing down every word my clinic said in his video, because I felt listening to it wasn't working for me, because that's how stressed I was. I was really stressed, so I decided to do something that I know I enjoy doing. I enjoy writing. So I was writing. I would listen to him. Whatever he says, I write it. The only things I won't write was things that I already felt like was so familiar to me. Like, that's something I already know. But anything I felt like I needed a reminder of, I would write it down. So that was the plan for that day. And I did it up to like 5 o'clock. And I was like, I am done. I am not touching this. I am not studying again. God, I gave it to you. You take the wheel from here. I have studied. Tomorrow is a test, and that's it. That is what I used to study for Nclex. If you find this video helpful, go ahead and click like and make a comment. Tell me what you are using to study for your Nclex, if you are studying for Nclex. And yeah, pray hard, pray intensely. That's what I did, and give it your best. And what I would say to encourage anyone, you don't have to wait forever, keep pushing back Nclex because of fear. Go in and take your Nclex. Study a bit, go in and take your Nclex. In my opinion, I feel like if you have had a good, at least solid 2 years of nursing program, you should be able to pass your Nclex with God's help. And all you need is to do some practice questions just to boost or to help you with, put you in that testing mode to go and take your Nclex. So this is it for this video. It's getting a little bit long, and I thank you for staying with me, hanging with me tight. Wish you all the best. Anyone who's wishing to go and take their Nclex and pass on their first try, like I did, go for it. You can do it. If you got your nursing school, with God's help, you can get your Nclex as well. All right? Love you all, and all the best.